It's the assassination of Julius Caesar, folks. I knew this one was coming up.
All right, let me have a look. Oh, no. Oh, no. So, well, let me tell you this much. He's not going to say that, but I'm going to say it. We don't have leather wristbands. We have bronze or brass or orichalcum wristbands, because you always have to have wristbands, but at least it's not leather. I consider that a favorable point. The only favorable point. It's similar to the Spartan from the movie a little bit. Look at the armor. What the heck is going on with him? He's wearing armor. He shouldn't die. This is alternative history. He's wearing something that looks like brass segmented. So why is he dead? Oh, this is horrible. Plus, one of the assailants got killed, so he retaliated a little bit. And also they twisted his arm in a way that is not natural. Yeah, I like the pteruges that did here. I mean, 3 strata, I guess, but the mantle could be alright-ish, maybe, but not here because it fuses into whatever the heck he's wearing. This is terrible.
Something about this moment in history. It has got to be one of the most famous single incidents in history. We actually know quite a lot about it. 15th of March, 44 BC.
Yeah.
Julius Caesar.
You got a point from me now because you said BC instead of BCE. Or did he? That's a little bit of a difficult to figure out. Let's listen to him again.
About it, 15th of March, 44 BC.
Yeah, no, that's BC, so I think he gets the point from me.
Julius Caesar, assassinated by members of the Senate. Julius Caesar was one of the most stunning military commanders in history, but he's an incredibly effective
politician.
politician.
Did put BCE, CE. Okay, take the point off. Of course, I'm exaggerating. I use BC AD. In fact, here's how I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it 100 before the year of our Lord, the Domini, Jesu Christi. Anyways, BC AD, that's what I use. If people want to use BCE, CE, feel free. Do what you want. Free country. Never in a million years. I'm going to have on my, whenever I die, on my grave, I want AD written on it.
As well. He was a soldier, he was a politician, he was tough, and he secured various political offices. But his big breakthrough came when he was sent off to what is now France, Gaul.
He was tough.
And when he was there, he went way beyond expectations that had been set for him, and he just conquered a vast empire across Western Europe that was kind of a genocidal, brutal campaign that went on for years. And when he arrived back in Rome, he had enormous power and influence as a result. And he emerged as an emperor in all but name, a king in all but name, dominating the Roman Empire and its political elite. He was a dictator, really.
Yes.
And he was assassinated by people who wanted to remove his influence from the Roman Republic. Perhaps they wanted to take more power for the Senate, perhaps they were jealous, perhaps they wanted to replace him.
And they failed because then we've got Octavianus Augustus.
But Julius Caesar had attained a position of such power and domination that enemies gathered and plotted to assassinate him on the Senate floor. He wasn't killed in the Senate House as it appears in Rome today. He was killed in the theatre of Pompey. There was a curia.
Pompey! We got Pompey, guys! Raise your hands for Pompey. That's what we do on this channel. Pompey. Everyone raise their hands for Pompey. Even you. You're not raising your hands. I can see you. I can see. Raise your... There we go. That's it. Great. Thank you. Pompey. It's Pompey again.
Meeting room for Roman senators. And as he went in there, as he approached his seat, senators, some of them he thought were his friends, gathered round him and started stabbing him. He'd been told not to go to the Senate that day. His wife had a dream that there was blood flowing from Caesar. I think she must have heard rumours. There were rumours swirling around Rome. Every time you ask AI or a Hollywood director to do anything in the Roman world, everyone is in full armour the whole time. They were not in armour. They were other senators. This was a political meeting. They were not...
Yeah, soldiers would have been in armour. I mean, soldiers acted as police officers in Rome, by the way. They had policing. And I would imagine when they did that, maybe some would have been in armour. Of course, normally soldiers in armour is on campaigns. So he's correct with that, about that, absolutely. But I think maybe soldiers, as they were policing, they could be wearing mail, for instance. Hamata or Gallica.
All dressed as Spartans from the Battle of Thermopylae. They're all in 300. There's a guy on the floor here. I don't know what's happened to him. It looks like Julius Caesar's broken his ankle as well.
And burnt his thigh.
He fell down. He had a nasty twist there. Julius Caesar's got a crown on his head, which is ironic because he was offered the crown a few times. He said, do you want to become king of Rome, like the way Rome had been a kingdom in the past? He pushed it away, each time more unwillingly. I'm just not sure about the physiology of Caesar here. The giant Julius Caesar. There's arms and legs just sticking out in strange directions. That right arm looks uncomfortable. And is this guy stabbing him in the shoulder? I'm not sure. This is disturbing. Julius Caesar was stabbed
I
repeatedly.
think disturbing is an excellent term to describe accurately a lot of AI art, particularly when it's like this. Because to be honest, there is some AI art that does look nice. Sometimes the lighting will be like weird, or so I'm told by actual artists. But as someone who's not an artist and it's just someone who's watching it as the customer of artists, I pay artists to make my thumbnails, for instance, and sometimes I make them myself. But when I outsource them, I pay artists to do them. What artists usually say is like, yeah, you can tell it's AI art, but sometimes there is some AI art that looks really good. Now that doesn't mean I still prefer to support real artists, but I don't want to just say it's horrible just on the basis of it. I want to look at it and be like, guys, this looks good. Like anime, for instance, maybe because it's kind of simpler when it comes to the as an art form. Maybe that's why sometimes anime AI art, I can't tell it apart.
But there's no evidence that his face melted. Speaking artistically, not as a historian, because it's nonsense, quite like the side light here coming through this window, shining off Caesar's armour and on the breastplates here. I think he was wearing a white toga on the day, so I guess that's good. Rating this one, well, somebody called Julius Caesar was killed in a building with bladed weapons. I guess that the AI gets that right, but this building is ahistorical. The uniforms are ridiculous.
The columns shouldn't be white; they should be in color and painted.
Armor, the size, and then some of the physiology is a bit scary in this one. I'm afraid I'm giving this a 4.
I'm giving it a 1.